Well, hello again. Welcome to Module 2. Today we're going to go over a couple different tools in Photoshop. We're going to go over some of the selection tools. We're going to learn how to do a quick mask. We're going to do some more work with the text tool and basically do like a recreation of a magazine. We're going to recreate the magazine, and then for your out of class assignment, you're going to source your own materials and essentially recreate a magazine of your choosing. But for this one, I have included some files. Okay, so let's begin. First thing you're going to want to do is get the Week 2 Photoshop Basics file. I'm going to go to Open, and I believe there it is, magazine cover. So we have kind of three different files there. Use my selection tool and open all of them. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to recreate this magazine. And I've given you really only two files to work with. This one, which is the Statue of Liberty, and then some water. So if we take a look at this, we can see there's at least 6 or 7 different layers going on there, probably more. But we can see that the Statue of Liberty is masked out, and she's above this rectangle. There's also some text in the back, which tells me that there's some separation between the background and the Statue of Liberty. And then we have some water up front here. So basically what we need to do is mask this out, and then we're going to create like a sky background. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. In this one, we're going to go up to File, New. Instead of going to Film and Video, we're actually going to go to Print, and we're going to do, let's do Letter, but we're going to change something. It's 8.5 by 11, but we're going to change this to 72. That's just going to allow for faster uploading, and also it's going to be less taxing on your system. If we were doing print, a real magazine, we would keep that resolution at 300, but we're doing all web-based stuff, so we'll keep it to 72. And it's untitled, but let's call this Tim Willett magazine cover. You should always put your name in your project assignment. That way it's just easier to grade later on. Okay, let's create that. So we have kind of this magazine cover. So first thing we'll want to do is let's go ahead and mask this out. So I'm going to go over to Layers, and I'm going to unlock it. And we're going to use actually the pen tool on this. Other thing we're going to do is we're going to add a layer mask. I'm going to click on that. It's really important that you see right here how that white area is highlighted, not this. We want that white area highlighted because otherwise you're going to kind of destroy the image. And the beauty of a quick mask is that it's non-destructible. And I can show you right here. We'll use some other tools just to give you an example. So for example, I have the brush over here. I'm going to use this as a selection tool. And what I can do is I'm going to change the foreground and the background, make sure that it's white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 F's right there. That's white. And then the background is black. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Now what's kind of neat about this is I can change my brush size. I can use any tool at my disposal when I do a quick mask. So you can see this is highlighted. Now, using that, if I want to bring it back, I'm going to just switch that over. It's kind of magical. And what a quick mask allows you to do is it allows you to take any selection tool or any creation tool, like for example, paint bucket, pen tool, brush tool, and you can add or subtract imagery. So it's really kind of neat. But for our purposes, we're going to go ahead and we're going to just start with the pen tool. And I'm going to zoom in by hitting Command plus. I'm going to hit my space bar and move it down. So if you hover over the pen tool, it will show you kind of how to do some of those pen movements. The other thing is if you go under resources on the syllabus, there's a little pen tool game that will help you increase your pen tool skills. So those are a couple things that you might want to do if you're not feeling too confident about the pen tool. So with the National Geographic thing, let's say I just want to take her from the base here. So let's go ahead and do that. One thing to note, under pen, you don't want shape because that's going to create a new shape. We're going to just do path. Let's go ahead and start. Now, it can be time consuming for sure. I'm going to hit Command plus. Not too exact. The trouble where people get in the most is when they're doing curves. So for example, from here to here, I'm holding my mouse down, and let's say I have a curve right there. Then let's say I want to go back up here. You'll see what happens is it curves in this strange way. What I can do though is if I hit my Option key and go in the middle, that's going to remove a handle. And then that's going to allow me to set a new point. Oh, I'll do the same over here. So you should really take your time on this, much more so than I'm going to do. I'm going to go fairly quickly to get through the lesson. Otherwise, we would be here for longer than a half hour. And it's my goal to wrap this thing up in under 40 minutes. So, I'm going to go very quickly. Pen tool can be very meditative. I find it very satisfying. You can zoom in on some of the other pieces here. And what's great is I can move those pieces around. So if they're not exact, I'm not too worried about it because I can move it around a little bit later. You want to make sure that you don't double click because that's going to create a new place to put the pen. And we don't want that. We don't want only one mask. So you'll also want to make sure that you don't hit the point twice. So there. So again, on that one, I hit that Option key. I know you're probably really admiring the accuracy of my skills here. I must say it's not my strong suit. But I think you'll probably walk away with a better understanding of the pen tool. The bummer about it is there are slight differences between the pen tool in After Effects and Photoshop. Oh, I'm not quite sure if I think I might have double clicked there. So this is a good opportunity to learn about the history. So I kind of messed up right there. So I'm going to go up to Window and History. Now I can go back a few. And that ensures that I'm not making a new mask. Ooh, things are getting a little unruly. Okay. Almost done here. Here's a pro tip. If you get bored, also I tend to talk slowly, you can increase the speed on the tutorial on YouTube by about 2 times. I'll find that I actually do that with myself because I speak kind of slowly, and it's almost like I speak at a normal pace when you speed it up twice the speed. So, and you'll still be able to understand me. So there's a little pro tip for you. All right, I'm just gonna zip through this because I think it's taking a little too much time. But of course, you'll spend much more time, right? I hope you spend more than 10 minutes doing this. But the pen tool gives you a tremendous amount of control, especially on edges that are quite defined like this. There we go. Almost done here. I know I said that a little while ago. It's the truth this time. You can trust me. Okay. Cheat a little bit. So the idea is that I'm going to complete a shape here, or a path. I'm going to meet up with my very first point, which should be coming up fairly soon. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Option right there. And then, aha. There we go. After you've completed that, you're going to want to go back to your layer. Again, making sure that that's selected. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. If I wanted to, I could kind of move things around with the direct selection tool. So for example, I could highlight something, right, and kind of move it around if I didn't like things. So that gives you kind of a way to refine some of this work. There we go. You can also highlight multiple and then move those around. And if you wanted to, you could actually add points too. So, but we're not here to do that. What I'm going to do is right click and I'm going to make a selection. It's going to ask me if I want to feather the radius. Let's go ahead and feather it. That's just going to soften the edges a little bit. I'll do it with 2. I'm going to hit OK. And you can see that it's highlighted it kind of with a marquee. Then I'm going to go up to select, inverse, and then I'm going to hit delete. So now you can see that I still have the actual information in there, but I have that mask. So I'm going to hit Command D to deselect. Then what I can do is go ahead and refine this stuff in here. So for example, if I wanted to, I could use the quick selection tool in there. I could make that brush size smaller. By the way, you can use the little bracket keys to make it bigger or smaller, and that's located right next to your P. I'm going to hit Command D right there. That is not what I wanted. Let's go back, Command D. So if I wanted to, I could use quick selection or that one. I'm just going to use the brush tool. I'll go in, I'll zoom in. Okay. Here's another little pro tip. If I hit X on my keyboard, it toggles between the black and white. So I'm going to make that smaller. The other thing I can do is I can soften my edge with the blur tool. If I don't like something, I can definitely soften it. Good. All right, once we have the Statue of Liberty there, we're going to transfer it over to that magazine cover. So the way we're going to do that is I'm going to grab the Move tool over here, and I'm simply going to drag it over. I'm going to hit Command T, zoom out, and it used to be that you'd hold the Shift key down to maintain aspect ratio. Now you don't do that. It just maintains the aspect ratio right now. So I'm going to zoom in. Great. Go back there. Yeah, I guess. Oh, it didn't save that. That's the other thing. So if you want it to commit, you have to hit Enter on your keyboard. So I'll bring that down, and I'm going to hit Return or Enter. Now, if I wanted to look at these, compare them side by side, I can go up to Window, Arrange, and then I could tile all vertically. So then I could make some comparisons. I can get rid of that first one because I've transferred it. I don't need to save it. So I need to get the water over there. And then we have some text and a background. Let's start with the background first. So I'm going to go back up to Window, Arrange, and then I'm going to consolidate all into tabs. So I have this layer, we'll call this statue. And if I hit Control or right click and then what I want to do is duplicate this layer. We're going to call this one sky. I want to hide, oh, and we'll put the sky in the back. I want to hide the statue, so I'm going to hide that. Then what I want to do is, actually, I'm going to delete the mask. Oh, and I'll do that by control clicking, and I'm going to click delete mask layer. So we have the Statue of Liberty there, and all I want is the sky. So here's a neat little trick. I'm going to get my rectangle tool. I'm going to hold down my shift key to just add, and it doesn't have to be a very exact selection. I just basically want to cover her up a bit. Okay, so maybe something like that. Then I'm going to control click or right click, and then I'm going to do fill. And I'm going to do content aware and hit OK. Ta-da! Almost there. Did most of it. Sky looks pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Control click and then fill. Content aware. Okay. Ooh, it is not looking good down there. For some reason, it does not want to do that. That's okay. I have another little trick up my sleeve. We're going to go up to the clone stamp tool. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger, like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Option key, and that makes a sample area. And then I'm going to go down here and ta-da, make it disappear. So now we have Statue of Liberty and then the sky. Well, let's see, what else do we need here? We need some water and the rectangle. Let's go ahead and take the water. So simply what I'm going to do, since we have the white in there, I'm just going to hit Command A, Command C, go back here, Command V. We'll drag that on top. I'll name that water. And we'll do a multiply, right? There we go. I'll hit a Command T to kind of stretch that out a little bit. Now she's underwater, but it looks like there's quite a bit of blur there, right? On ours, oh, we'll get rid of this water thing because we don't need it any longer. On ours, it's not very blurry. So we'll make it blurry. I'm going to use this rectangle tool. I'm going to make sure that we're on the statue. And I'm just going to do a pretty rough selection. Holding down the shift key. Doesn't need to be exact. And then again, it's on the statue. And now I'm going to go up to filter, blur, and we're going to do a Gaussian blur. Now, that's not very much, but if I increase it, you get quite the blur under there. Perfect. That looks good to me. So then I'm going to hit Command D. Yeah, there we go. We're getting there. So we have that. Now we'll need the outside. So I'm going to go to my rectangle tool. I'm going to turn my fill off at the top here. Then I'm going to use this yellow. And let's see, I have 1 pixel there. Let's do 25. And I'm simply going to around here. Let's see what happens. Oh, that works. That actually works. Okay. But we have some problems. We can see that it doesn't go behind the water there. It's already named it rectangle. And the problem is we can't really erase a vector graphic. It's not going to allow us to. So we need to do something first. We're going to right click on the layer, go to rasterize layer. And now, if we want to, we can go ahead and erase that. Make that a little bigger. There we go. There. That seems to be getting there. Okay. Now we're going to add some text. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. National Geographic. Wow, that's far too big. So we're going to need to go to character. I'm going to make that a lot smaller. And additionally, I'm going to go to paragraph and we'll center that. Something like that. Let's use a times on here. Times regular. Good enough. Oh, the other thing, let's do that all caps. National Geographic. Perfect. Now, it looks like it's the sky color, and it also looks like there's a drop shadow. So let's go back to layers, and we're going to add a drop shadow. Okay, that looks a little better. Additionally, we're going to add a gradient overlay. That looks okay, but we'll probably want to do this little Easter egg and grab some colors from the magazine. Okay, and I'm going to change the angle. Yeah, like so. That white's a little too intense. Probably want to bring it to middle down. Yeah, there we go. So maybe just put a little hint of white there. I'm gonna put that at 90, negative 90. There we go. Okay, so I haven't finished it, but I've given you all the tools that you need to finish this. So I want you to be able to finish this one here. Trying to think if there's anything else. I believe that this is going to be it. Your homework for the week is to complete this and then make your own magazine cover. Upload it to Frame and do it by next Wednesday. Okay, have a good week. Bye.